Hi guys, got another one I want to come at you with. I think you're going to find very, very interesting. I first want to tell y'all I've had a lot of questions asking me if we've been out on any investigations. Actually, we have. We have been out the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks. Nothing's happened. I think probably maybe what's happened is we're under a drought right now. Super hot weather right now. Because the water has receded from the areas we've been at, I think probably the animals and what forth down there have left, which, predators follow food source, so they may be back even deeper. This lake, a lot of people's not aware of, it was flooded back in the 50s, which was a small town, which is now underwater, and the small town was moved up a few miles, which still exists, but they flooded a river to make this into a lake. So as this lake was, which is actually called the floodplain part of the lake, as it recedes to the drought, it recedes to the lake or the river at which it flooded from. So I think they probably follow this back on even further. It's very dense back there, worse than where we're at, and it just gets worse. Like I said, this is a very large, secluded area, very swampy, so perfect habitat. We haven't heard anything. It's been just dead quiet down there. It'd be perfect nights to camp if it wasn't so hot. I'm going to talk to y'all also about, we have an upcoming event coming. The pond we tried to reach here a while back, I talked to y'all about, the lady was having trouble with. They fenced it off. They're not even using it no more due to how violent this creature had became. It had urinated on her at one point. I think that pond is getting pretty close to being reachable again because the waters have receded so far, so that may be a coming up investigation we may be headed down to do. Some people have asked us to do a live question and answers. If you'd like to see us do a live question and answers, drop me a comment down, let me know, and maybe we can do a live. I think that's pretty much what everybody's been asking me about doing. So we're going to start with today's. Today's location is actually Anchorage, Alaska area, the Stampede Trail. Female Mary Dawn Wilson, age 69, the date of missing July 12th, 2022. The moon was a waxing gibbous, 50% illumination. That's right before the full moon. You all know this. You're probably starting to see after I'm doing this, a very common phase of the moon for all this to be happening. Like I said, I think that they probably hunt during this time because you still have pretty good light out there, and if they have the bars in their eyes like I suspect, they still have a huge advantage over us as far as sight. They already have the hearing, the smelling, and this just gives them another sense. It's better than ours, which is sight, because the bars will enhance the light. I believe on the actual full moon night, I believe that's the night that they feast, and that's why it's not as active on the actual full moon, unless you find where they're feasting, and you may be dessert. But Mary's vehicle, they said, was found near Healy, Alaska. They believe her vehicle may have been stuck. Family says there's no way the vehicle was stuck because it wasn't in mud when they recovered the vehicle. So there's something right there. Um, Officials were not alerted to the problem until Thursday at 1:31 a.m. approximately. Alaskan state troopers received a report of an abandoned vehicle with a child inside. The highs in the area, I was wondering, were 70s, and the lows in the area were running in the 50s. Rescue crews found the child locked inside of a Ford Focus in good condition and health. The child was later checked out at a nearby hospital and was released to the mother. Attempts to locate Miss Wilson by law enforcement, military personnel, rescue dogs, all-terrain vehicles, drones, helicopters have failed to locate her. The dogs found a small scent trail near the vehicle, but refused to track the trail. They brought in another bunch of dogs that are trained in cadaver rescue. They also refused to track the trail. They would only go a small amount of distance and they would stop. She was babysitting her granddaughter. The area she went missing in, and I thought this was pretty important, was near the Denali National Park and Preserve. The nearest resident, they said, is miles away. Here we are talking about another national park and a missing person, and dogs won't track the trail. The trail Miss Wilson's car was found on was the same trail used by the Into the Wild. The school bus was also airlifted into this area. Alaskan state troopers said they are transitioning away from an active search and rescue after 7 days to a recovery mission. There's been no evidence of foul play found. They haven't found anything that suggests that there was somebody there that got her. And I'm going to say somebody because we're going to get into that here in just a minute. I started to wonder a few things. So, March 8th of 2021, near this same area, also, this park is also deemed the most dangerous national park in the United States. It has the most deaths of any park and missing people. March 8th of 2021, locals found some tracks on the trail that they thought was left by a Bigfoot. Now, these tracks were found very close to a trail, okay? Same trail that she was by. They said they were unusual as they were on top of the ice instead of in it. Now, what people have to understand is these people in Alaska, they still hunt a lot. They still survive a lot off of their hunting and off their survival skills. They know these tracks better than anybody. Park rangers came back, and the park rangers posted pictures of the prints on their Facebook page March 8th with a caption that seemingly explained that they were made by a wolf. I want to post some of them pictures for y'all to take a look at. I'll post the wolf pictures, and then I went ahead and found some wolf pictures. I want to show you all the tracks, and then I'll post what they found, and you tell me if you think these are the same tracks. These racetracks were created when a wolf compressed the snow under its paws, and then a strong wind blew the surrounding loose snow away. My thing was on this is there's a single roll of prints. I know when my dogs walk in the snow, I don't know about your dogs or the mud or at the lake or whatever, there's not one footstep after another. Even if they double step, there's going to be two footprints somewhere. They have 4 legs. They don't walk on a tightrope. I don't know why they think we would think, or why we would even believe that they would leave a trail like that. The strong wind, they say, blew the snow away to make the tracks appear raised. Wouldn't a wind that was that strong also blow the snow away from the tracks and cover the tracks and maybe eventually even blow the tracks away? Locals are not having it. These locals say they have hunted Alaska all their lives. They know all the tracks of every creature that they hunt, every creature that is a predator, and they said these prints are not anything that they are familiar with. They also say that they're bipedal as a human walks. Park rangers stated, it is common for wolves to make a single row of tracks. Again, refer to the pictures that I showed you. Locals, again, strongly disagreed. Another weird thing is she did not follow the trail that would have been the easiest trail for her to follow. Instead, she went off through the woods, which was another weird thing. She's 69 years old. She's in snow. She knows the temperatures around there. She's not going to head off through the woods, 69 years old, and leave her, granddaughter in the car. My point of thinking is the same as the other people. Is she seen something and she stopped and she was lured into the woods to where she was abducted by whatever creature abducted her, and they're probably, in my opinion, going to find her in an area they've already searched. They're probably going to find some clothing, and it's going to be just another pretty much case, it's going to reflect a lot of the other cases. That's my opinion, because it all falls right down to that. It even gets, I mean, residents have said that they have seen an ape-like creature in the area. They report it to the game and fish authorities, but the game and fish authorities blame it on a wolf. They again say a wolf does not walk bipedal or leave footprints like these. My question is there more of these things out there than what people think, because they're confusing tracks with other animals? Like, you know, they see these big tracks out there and they're like, oh, a wolf must have come through here. Is it a wolf? I mean, it's something to really make you think about. The bus that was used into the thing they done about Into the Wild, it had to be removed because the crew had reported Bigfoot. Listen to this. The crew recorded Bigfoot attacks. Equipment was destroyed. Food was stolen. Weird sounds coming from the woods, such as whistling, beating, and tree knocks. And there was also many times that their houses were beat on and they heard heavy breathing and found large bipedal footprints, which were in turn turned into the local authorities and deemed wolves. People have went missing around this bus that still haven't been found today. There is people that went missing up around in that area that have just disappeared. Now, another weird thing the crew was talking about, and I think y'all are going to find this kind of really interesting, as I found this really interesting. They said that the creature they seen was humanish-like looking, with long black hair all over its body, same thing we've heard before, had a short, fat muzzle, and moved as a human bipedally. It was large. But here's the weird thing. After they seen it and went up to check on it, the footprints were not that we're all used to seeing. The footprints were bipedal footprints that resembled a very large canine. So something that looks exactly like a human, looks like a Bigfoot, but the footprints are canine looking. They even said in one of them, at the back of the foot, in the snow, they found a large dew claw that was piercing the snow behind the foot. They measured these footprints. These canine feet print were 13 inches long by 8 inches wide. Those are huge dog prints walking upright, but with the body that everybody says is the Bigfoot. They even said the arms hung down around the knees. It moved and looked as if it were human, and at nighttime it had eye shine. Blue eye shine is what they reported seeing. Man, I found that really, really interesting. I find this story really, really interesting. I'm working on another story right now I think y'all ain't going to want to miss. It's very interesting to me. If it all pans out, I'll air it. There was a body found. I'm not going to say where it was found, but it was found along a highway. And along this highway, they first thought it was a human. After the coroner arrived, coroners see these body parts all the time. The coroner then noticed that it was human, but he wasn't for sure. Well, kind of as the story's untangling, I guess you could call it, they have now found out that they're not human and have called an anthropologist in to look at these remains, because they were so close to human, a professional was not willing to say it wasn't human, but an anthropologist is willing to say it's not human. So we got something weird that's been discovered, guys. I'm going to stay on top of it, and I'll get it out to you if it all pans out. I want to thank you all for the PayPal donations, guys. YouTube has been at me hard. It helps. The likes help just as much, so don't worry about sending me anything if you can't. I understand times are hard right now. So a simple like and a comment, hey, I appreciate that just as much. I appreciate each and every one of you that watch. Keep your head on a swivel, and until next time, guys, be safe, and we'll see you in the woods maybe.